So for this assignment, you would open up your procedures, and for the part two, I'm just going to go over part two right now. You would click on here, and that will take you to a map. Actually, I think it'll come up like this at first. First you want to put in, you'll see the whole United States, and you'll want to put your address in over here. So I put in Springfield, Oregon on the right side over here. And then I look for wherever I'm saying, wherever I live, you would look for that, or you can even put your actual specific address in there. And then you want to click over to the topo map, because what you're looking for is for the runoff from your property. So when it rains, wherever you live, where does that water run off to? So if you're living down in the flats of Springfield down here, and in between the McKenzie River flows over in the north part of Springfield. Eventually it hits the Willamette River over here. And then the Willamette River is actually flowing this way, north. So if you live in Springfield here, you would be in between the Willamette and, so this is the middle fork of the Willamette and the McKenzie River. So if you're living on this hill right here, let's say, on the side of the hill, your water would flow down this way, and then you can see there's these littler creeks here that eventually flow into the Willamette. And so you want to look at, if you're living in the flats, then it's going to be that it's either going to flow sort of over to this part and hit the middle fork of the Willamette, or go over into the McKenzie. If you're living closer to the McKenzie River, it's probably going to go that way into the McKenzie. If you live on this hill over here, let's say you live right here, the water would flow off this hill, downhill, because these are contour lines. Each of these lines on the map represent another bit of elevation gain or loss. So if you're going this way, you're going down the hill. If you're going that way, you're going up the hill. And so if you're living, let's say, over here, it's going to go into Wallace Creek over here. There's lots of little creeks that run through different parts of Springfield. So you'll just want to find your address on here and figure out where it would be closest to. There's a little creek here. So if you're living right here, when it rains, it probably runs off into this little creek here, Cedar Creek it's called. So just look around on this topo map and see where you think. And so let me just go ahead and let's pretend like I live right here, and I know that the water is going to be flowing down into the river here. So what I want to do is I want to kind of get a close-up of this area. So I'll get as close as I can. I can zoom in here. Maybe about this looks good. And the directions say to go ahead and save this as a JPEG file, but this map is really big. I think it'd be better if you just got the map to where you needed it over here. You can even make it bigger by clicking that out of the way. And just take a screenshot of the area you live in. So to do that, you'll have to do a Google search to find out how to do a screenshot with using your particular computer. I have a Mac, so I know that I click Command-Shift-4, and I get this little crosshair thing, and I'm just going to come up to the top of my screen, click my mouse, and then drag it as I'm clicking. Drag it down to the screenshot I want to take. Now, some computers you could just click. I think on some of the Windows computers, you can just click a button and it just takes a screenshot of the entire screen, and so you don't have to worry about dragging it like that. And my screenshots go to my desktop, and so there it is right here. So, and I would recommend you, you could do it either way. The easiest though is if you have it on your desktop, then you can just, well, actually, let me take that back. I was going to say you can drag it in there, but what would even be better is if when you're doing when you have your lab in front of you and you're trying to write down your information. I just have a blank document here, but you'll have your lab as a Google Doc, your lab report. And if it's in Word, you might have to figure out how to insert an image in there. So you'll just want to insert drawing, actually. And then this is when you would want to drag that over into, let's see if I can do that. Yep, drag that over here, and that way you can draw on this. So I would click, I'd want to get an arrow, and I want the air, if I live, let's say right here, I want to show that, whoops, that's the direction of my runoff. And that will be it. If you want to do a couple arrows, you can. And it should be, oh, here we go. So then if you're in your document, that's how you're going to do it. You're just going to click well, you can, I guess you could insert your image too, but I don't know if you can draw on that. You can play around with it. There might be other ways to do this, but insert your image. But I'm just recommending insert drawing and then dragging your image into it. So once you save your image with a screenshot, get that onto your desktop. That way it makes it real easy to drag on there. And like I said, there's lots of ways to do things. You could figure out a different way that might be better than my way. But this is a way that I would recommend doing it. The directions say something different in your lab report. They talk about saving the file as a JPEG, etc., etc. Screenshot's fine, so you can do it either way. Okay. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions on that.